Netflix streaming has become an important part of almost everyone's daily lives these days, with a seemingly endless library of just about every genre you can imagine. But it can sometimes be hard to find a show that you specifically find interesting or shows that you want to watch. Anyway, I'm your host as always, K-Mac Time, and today I want to take a look at the top 10 awesome anime series to binge watch on Netflix. Now, before I get into today's list, I just want to say that these are in no particular order and that Netflix does update their catalog fairly regularly. So if you're watching this within a few months of coming out, or maybe even later, some of this could have changed. Some of these series could have been taken down. Some more could have been added. They like to do that stuff all the time. But anyway, with that out of the way, guys, let's jump right in with our first show, Kill la Kill. Now, this show is created by the studio Trigger, and it's pretty crazy plotline. It's just out there. It's something I've never watched before, anything like this. Anyway, it's based on an orphaned schoolgirl who just entered high school, but this high school is totally different than anything you're thinking of. It's focused on hyper-violence and combat. The student council wears uniforms that give them superhuman powers and abilities. That's kind of this weirdness, but it's really cool. Anyway, armed with weaponized pair of scissors and her own superhuman uniform, our main character must fight back to take down everyone in her way as she tries to figure out the story of who murdered her father. And it's this cool, like, detective thing going on there, all this like cat and mouse game going on with this, and there's kind of dropping clues and hints along the way. But on top of that, you also have this really bitchin', fight style and cool superhuman powers and the weapons and stuff they use. It's so awesome. I love the animation and the art style in this, and of course the storytelling and the combat scenes are also top notch. It's definitely a show that I didn't really think I would like, but I ended up liking it a lot, and I think maybe you guys should give it a watch as well. Next up is a classic anime series, Oni Tension. This is a tale of a swordsman who wanders ancient Japan and helping out people, all while upholding his vow to never again take another life. It originally ran from 1996 to 1998, and despite being almost 2 decades old, it really holds up pretty well by today's standards. The series was originally aired on Toonami, which is where I originally watched it as a kid in the late 90s, and it was one of the first popular anime in the Western world. And that's really why one of those series I really got my start on, and why I like anime today is because of shows like this. Anyway, it was originally censored when it was aired on Toonami, but Netflix has brought it back and has the original versions of the original anime and puts all that extra content that was cut out back in. And it's just like I said, it's a classic anime, and if it's one you haven't seen, it's one you definitely should give a watch. Highly recommend this one. You won't be disappointed in this one either. Now, Mushi is a very interesting series, and it's completely different, and it's got a different feel than most anime series. It follows a man named Ginko who travels across Japan investigating these things called Mushi, who are pretty much primitive spirits that go around causing trouble and, harming people and stuff like that. But it has this really cool, chilled, laid-back feel to it. It's not so much action-packed as it is kind of this serene feel. You get all these great-looking backgrounds and backdrops. There's like snow and stuff like that. It looks amazing in this. And it's just kind of a serene feel to it. It's kind of like a chill, like I said, laid-back atmosphere. Absolutely love the art style and the atmosphere of it. It's such a different take on this. It's not this action-packed or this mech battle or these super, big-titted women fighting each other. It's something a little more chill, a little more laid back, but still, it'll keep you entertained the entire way through. And it's something that I feel like it gives you something different to watch. And like, if you're caught up on, something like Attack on Titan or One Punch Man with all these giant big battles, this is something to kind of change of pace, and I kind of enjoyed that as well. A newer series on Netflix that they actually have the exclusive rights to as of now is called Ajin. I could be pronouncing that wrong, but that's how I say it anyway. Which it just got its 2nd season back in December, so there's 2 full seasons that are on Netflix right now, and it's a pretty solid series so far, and hopefully we're going to get more seasons of it down the road. But anyway, it follows the story of a young man who discovers he cannot die after he's hit by a truck. And it does kind of start out rather slow. It'll take the first couple episodes to really get going. But if you guys stick with it for a few episodes, it does pick up. It really does. And it uses this Really cool cel-shaded 3D art style that makes it really, really pop. I love the art style in this show. The monsters in this show specifically look absolutely stunning. Some of the fight scenes are action-packed, as you would expect from an anime series. A lot of battles are really, really fast-paced and action-packed. Like I said, it's just a little interesting series. It's kind of new. It seems to be picking up steam with anime fans, and it's like I said, it's on Netflix exclusively right now, I believe. You probably can stream it elsewhere on the internet, but Netflix is where you should go to get it. And like I said, it's just something to keep an eye on as it gets more seasons down the road. It might become a kind of a cult hit, if you will. So definitely check out that one called Ajin. Now, another old school classic anime series that was instrumental to popularizing anime in the US was Robotech. Now, fans may not know this, but Robotech is actually 3 Japanese series, completely unrelated series, mashed together into one overarching plot line. It was just basically English or made for the US. So a lot of people don't know that. Similar to what happened with the early to late 90s Power Rangers. All of those, people don't realize that like those are actually like multiple Japanese shows put together and then dubbed over in English. So, but that's another story. Anyway, getting back to this, this is the first and most popular, one of the most popular seasons of it on Netflix. I think there's only 1 season of it on there, unfortunately. But it is a good season. In this one, it's where humanity comes into conflict with aliens for the first time, and it forces them into the frontiers of space travel, and it does it all intergalactic war stuff. And I love like a transformer kind of like mechs they have. They transform into jets, and then they hit a button and they transform into like these giant battle mechs. Super cool. It's like a mixture of like Transformers and Gundam if you put those two together. Very cool. I love the space battles. I love the mechs in the series, and of course it has a love story that's overarching as well. It's really good, well done, well-written series. It's an oldie, but it's one that's worth your time. If you guys have not gone back and watched it or just never heard of it or never seen it, it is an all-time classic and one that I highly, highly recommend. Now, a series that I have absolutely loved for quite some time now is Death Note. It's based on the popular manga called Death Note. It tells the story of this guy who's in high school. He's an overachiever who finds this notebook, and it gives him this ability to untraceably murder anybody he wants just by writing their name. And he attempts to make the world a better place by doing it, killing only bad guys and stuff like that. But it starts to bring into this conflict with this young detective, and they have this whole cat and mouse game about him catching, and it's just a completely compelling storyline. Like it's like nothing else I've ever seen. It's such a cool and interesting premise. It's a super popular series. You've probably heard of this one. If you guys haven't seen it already, I'd kind of be shocked. But like I said, it is on Netflix. It's one of the best animes I've ever watched, and like I said, on Netflix. Great binge watching if you're into that. It's one of the better ones I've seen on there. Netflix is actually producing a live action Western version of this that's supposed to be coming out sometime in 2017. I don't really know what to make of that. Like, I don't know how it's going to be live action on Netflix, but as of right now, I would say just stick to the original anime of Death Note. It's very good, very well written, fun battle scenes, good, interesting characters. Love it a lot. It's a top 10 for me all time, and I would recommend it to anyone. Of course, another incredibly popular series is Attack on Titan. This has been around for, I think, 5 or 6 years now. It's got 2 seasons out. The last season just came out last year. Smash hit. Unfortunately, season 2 isn't on Netflix as of right now, but there are rumors of it coming sometime later this year. So fingers crossed on getting season 2 of Attack on Titan on Netflix. But as of right now, there's just season 1. But season 1 is plenty enough. It's absolutely amazing. It's got some of the best fight scenes I've ever seen. It's got some interesting takes on this. These giant Goliath-sized Titans, and they're being taken on by, humans, and it's such a really cool, at least these epic duels between the main character, Eren Yeager, and these massive Titans. I mean, in the first, one of the first episodes, he watches his mother be eaten by a Titan, and he's a child. At that point, he vows to dedicate his life to killing every Titan in existence, and it goes through all of that, and there's just non-stop, action-packed, kick-ass ride from beginning to end. Absolutely love this series. Cannot recommend it enough. Like I said, only the first season is on Netflix, and it is subbed. It's not English dubbed, but it's still worth watching if you guys haven't seen it. You can find the entire second season on Hulu or on VRV or Crunchyroll. if you guys are into that. But like I said, it is probably going to come to Netflix at some point this year. So if you guys haven't seen it already, watch Attack on Titan. Sirdar Online is a series I was pleasantly surprised by. It's kind of older, but I just got into it not too long ago because I bought a PS4 game for it, actually. I have the game somewhere on this wall. I can't pull it out right now, but I saw the game, and the guy at GameStop told me it was based off an anime, so I went and looked up the anime, and I started watching it, and it's like 2 seasons of it on Netflix. It's actually, might not be even related. I've only watched the first season. It's called Sirdar Online, and there's like one called Sirdar Online Part 2. I haven't watched that just yet, but it is on Netflix. Anyway, and I've seen this premise done before, where, you know, the idea of getting sucked into a video game world and having to fight your way out. You die in the game, you die in real life. We've all seen this done, but I feel like Sirdar Online did it in a really, really good way. The best I've probably ever seen it done in any cartoon or anime or even video game for that matter. Absolutely does it the best. It's just such a good, cool, awesome series. Anyway, it's based around this VR game that imprisons a group of like 10,000 people inside it, and they have to band together and fight through this 100-floor tower of monsters, and you know, they battle them, and if they die in real life, and they can't unplug from the game until they've reached the top level and completed it. And it's just full of these action-packed, incredible fight scenes. A lot of waifus in there, a lot of good-looking babes in this one. If you're into that style of anime, you're gonna have some boobs hanging out. You got some scantily clad women with big swords. If you're into that, that's pretty cool. I love that stuff as well. Like I said, some of the best fight scenes I've seen in recent memory. Great animation, great writing. It is subbed, but it's better than nothing, so you have to do a little bit of reading there, but it is worth it. The first season is really, really good. Like I said, the second part I haven't gotten into just yet, but I plan on doing that very, very soon. So it'll have you on the edge of your seat the whole time, and definitely worth checking out. Probably one of the most popular animated series of all time, and an all-time classic, of course, Bleach. It has 16 seasons, but unfortunately only 3 of them, the first 3, are on Netflix. But that's still plenty of action. There's still lots that happens in the first 3 seasons. Like I said, it's based on a manga, probably the best-selling manga of all time, I would have to guess. Probably at least top 5, if I had to really guess. But it's an all-time classic. It gives you all the classic sword play, these massive monster battles. It's got all kinds of cool stuff going on. The main protagonist is Ichigo Kurosaki. He can see ghosts. He can do all that kind of stuff. He's like a soul reaper, and he battles all kinds of crazy enemies. But the thing about it to me is it's got all this humor in it as well. I love anime that have this gap between these intense battles, and then they also have, you know, the light-hearted humor on it as well. And this show's got both of them, and it does it very, very well. It does battle scenes well, it does humor well, it does everything well. I love this show. It's been around for what seems like pretty much forever. It's a staple in the anime scene. So do yourself a favor if you guys haven't seen Bleach or have never even watched any of it. The first 3 seasons are available on Netflix right now. They are subbed, but it's worth your time if you guys are into that. Very, very good series, and it's kind of a starting point for the series if you guys want to watch the remaining, like, whatever it might be, like 13 seasons of it that might even still be running. I'm nowhere near caught up, but the first 3 seasons are on Netflix, and they're really, really good, so give them a watch. And finally, the show that is on Netflix, an anime that I'm going to say is an absolute must-watch at this point. It is something, if you are into anime even a little bit, it is something you absolutely, hands down, have to see, and that is One Punch Man. Seriously, one of the best things I've watched in years. Like, not even just anime, like even anything on TV, best thing I've watched in a long, long time. It follows Saitama, a hero with an overpowered ability to kill enemies in one punch, hence his name One Punch Man. But he gets so bored with it, and it just gets, the storyline is absolutely great. Again, we have great fight scenes, action-packed, but the thing that really makes the show really good for me personally is the humor. Like I said earlier, humor in this plays a massive, massive role, and it's absolutely hilarious. There's multiple times throughout the watching of the first season that I found myself just dying laughing from the stupidness of it, or something he says, or something they do. Absolutely the funniest anime I've ever seen. Love this show. Unfortunately, there's only 1 season of it right now. Season 2 is rumored to be in production. No release date or anything like that I am aware of. But it is definitely worth your time. Definitely worth watching. I breezed through all like 15 episodes or whatever it was in like 2 sittings in one or 2 days because it was that good. I was just absolutely glued to it. I couldn't look away. Like I said, it follows Saitama. He's a hero. There's a class of heroes. They have to rank up from Class C to Class S by defeating villains, super villains, and the way he goes about it is hilarious. Even though he's the most powerful superhero of all of them, he constantly gets shit on by other less powerful superheroes, and it's just a really funny, fun adventure, and it kind of ended on a kind of something that I thought was interesting as well. I don't want to give anything away about it, but probably the best anime I've watched in quite some time. The one I recommend to anyone trying to get into anime or may have never seen one or haven't watched anime in a while. I highly, highly, highly recommend One Punch Man because it's so easy to get into, it's relatable, it's funny, it's got action, it's not too over the top complicated. It's like some of them can get with love stories and all that kind of stuff. All they have those really long overarching plot lines. None of that. It's just fun, simple action and hilariousness ensues the entire time. But anyway, guys, that's all I have time for. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, make sure to smash that like button down below. Let's try to get over 9,000 likes. I'm kidding. Let's just see how we can get. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, like I said, hit the like button. Subscribe for more videos like this in your sub box. Check out some of my previous videos on anime and cartoons. Links in the end slate and description. Like I said, guys, take it easy. Remember, it's always K-Mag time somewhere. Until then, peace out.
Ninja.